USP stands for unique selling proposition. So if you have 100 trainers in a room and they all say, hey, John, I'm gonna get you in shape. The problem is that if everyone's saying the same thing, then you're automatically gonna take the cheapest option, correct? So a USP is what sets you apart. So I'll give you an example. Some trainers will use vegan diets as their USP. Oh, the reason you're out of shape is you're not vegan. Some trainers will say, oh, it's because you don't get your blood drawn. Some trainers will say, oh, you don't optimize your hormones and we have to optimize it this way. Some will use kind of the advanced scientific longevity stuff now. So like, you know, Brian Johnson, he's like, oh, you got to take all these supplements. You got to eat these certain foods, right? So that's his USP. Blueprint is Brian Johnson's USP. That's why he stands out. That's why he's blowing up on social media, because he's going super aggressive into something that most people don't do. So you have to think, what makes you stand apart? Now, what I did, and so you can learn from my story, is I thought, first and foremost, you have to know what people want. And in fitness, people want to eat bad food and they don't want to move in a perfect world, right? Now, we know that's not true, but that's what people want. So I said, how can I ethically sell them what they want, but then give them what they need? So my USP was how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results. Now, I am a big believer in caloric restriction, right? Meaning if you eat less than your body burns, you're going to burn fat. If you eat more than your body burns, you're going to gain fat. Very simple. So the point of what I said is everyone wants to eat what they want, but most people didn't know how to do it. You'd be shocked at how many people, they don't know what a calorie is, a macro, a fat, a carb, a protein. They don't know what those things are. So I sold them on the fact they could eat whatever they wanted within certain parameters and guidelines. And then when they came in, I essentially taught them if it fits your macros. But if I said, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do if it fits your macros, nobody would have bought. Nobody would have liked it. So that was my USP. And when I ran ads to it, I made millions of dollars just running a simple ad where I was super shredded, I was in shape, and then that was my USP. And the headline was how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results. I'll try to throw that on the screen for you guys. That's the main tagline that you're going to want to have in your bio, your IG profile. And we're going to go through that in the next section. But that's the USP. Now, the next part is then running it through the Hormozi equation. What I call the Hormozi equation is in his book, $100 Million Offers, where there's the 4 quadrants. You have determined outcome. So do they want what you're actually selling? Perceived likelihood of achievement. And then below it, you have time delay, and then effort and sacrifice. You want to run your offer through these 4 things to see how many checks or minuses you have. So let's take a normal fitness offer. So you're going to lose 20 pounds in 3 months. So the determined outcome, most people want to do that. Lose 20 pounds of fat in 3 months. Great. Perceived likelihood of achievement, very low. Most people fail. They don't stick with fitness programs, or they're less likely to pay a trainer a lot of money, because unless they have a really good, unique selling proposition, they're just like, I may not even do it, right? Time delay, so it takes quite a bit of time, 3 months, and then effort and sacrifice, there's a lot. So you only could give that offer 1 out of 4. Now let's take a different offer, similar to fitness, right? Let's do liposuction. So determined outcome, lose 20 pounds. Perceived likelihood of achievement is 100%. Time delay is 0, right? It's instantaneous as soon as they get on the surgery table. And effort and sacrifice is 0. So that's 4 check marks. So that makes it a better offer. So you could charge more money. That's why people will pay $5 to $10 grand for liposuction, but they'll only pay, $50 a week for training. Keep this in mind. It doesn't mean you can't sell a quote unquote less stellar offer, but you have to be better at sales. You have to be better at marketing. You have to be better at persuasion. And so if you're newer, if you make a better offer, even if you're not newer, even if you're advanced, a better offer will be easier to sell. You can't make a fitness offer better, meaning you can't work out for them, so you can't take away the effort and sacrifice. You can't make the results faster. It's going to take some time. And then in terms of likelihood of achievement, they have to do work. So you cannot make the offer better. So the goal is to not just pull stuff out of your butt and try to make stuff up, but it's just to understand that's not going to be as strong an offer as liposuction. I'll give you a quick one for business. I have a friend who sells, he teaches people how to make $800 a month selling audiobooks. So it's a great goal. Most people, they don't want to make tens of thousands of dollars. They just want a little extra cash each month. The perceived likelihood of achievement is pretty high. They don't have to be on camera. They don't have to shoot videos. They don't have to do what I'm doing right here. Time delay, it's not that long. I think they can start doing like 30 days. $800 is a very low promise. And then the effort and sacrifice is very low. So that's also a great offer, right? Versus what I'm helping people with is building businesses. And to be frank, let's think about it. A lot of people want to make a lot of money. The likelihood of achievement is very low. It takes a lot of time and it's a lot of effort. So I only have 1 out of those 4 quadrants for what I do in business consulting, because most people are not willing to put in the work and take the time and do the effort. Now, a lot of times in life, that if you're wanting to be exceptional, that's okay, because exceptional people will do what other people don't do. But in terms of selling it to the average person, that makes it a little bit harder. All right. So now we have our USP. We know what we're going to sell, and we take it through the Hormozy equation. So the next part is that we want to prime our social media profile. This is a big issue for a lot of people. So I'm going to come over to the screen, and a lot of people do not prime their profile properly. So the way I like to prime my profile is the first line is about what I do and my unique mechanism. Now, if you look at my screen, mine's not that good right now. It just says I help people build the business of their dreams. That's not really that unique. But the reason I have that is because below that you can see broke to $100 million in sales in 6 years. And that is unique. So it takes pressure off me having to come up with a mechanism. I really probably should, but this really is what makes me unique. Underneath your USP, so let's say I said, I help people eat whatever they want without sabotaging results, going back to my fitness one. Then the second line, you want it to say, DM me ready for help. So anyone who sees your profile and wants help will go to it. And then underneath that, you want to put proof. So for me, it's broke to $100 million in sales in 6 years. And then the last line is just work with me with a link to our VSL with an application, okay? And in fact, this is actually slides, right? And we go through and it's just, we show proof and all that type of stuff. Okay. So when you're priming your profile, that's what you want to have up here. The second thing, you don't have to have these, by the way, the pinned stories, that doesn't matter. And then when you have your pinned post, you want to have stuff around what you've done. So this one here is client results, right? I put a physical therapist paying me $78,000 to come out of $200K in debt. Comment fix, and I'll DM me how to fix it in 3 days. And a lot of it's positive. You get a few people who are like, oh, now he's in $278,000 in debt. But they're missing the point that he paid me to learn skills he didn't have to actually get out. And in the first month, he made $57,000. They'll be out of debt and doing $100,000 next month within 3 to 4 months, okay? The next one is then, hey, get clients from Instagram. Let me show you how. Similar thing, right? Showing people how to do it. And then this last one is a reel that went viral that is just more of an authority thing, right? People come in, they can see my stuff, and they can see that I'm legit. And then really what I've tried to transition to is just posting more stuff that helps people, right? I think what happened is I got pulled out of my business more and made more money. I started posting less of things that like help people. And ultimately you want to post stuff that's for other people, right? People don't care about you. They care only what you can do for themselves. And so post stuff that is beneficial to them, like show them how to make money, show them how to get in shape, show them how to have better relationships. And if you do that, you're going to make a lot more money.